Joe Major.
Joe Major.
Hold the card up.
Joe Major.
Woke as fuck.
Woke AF. This was a really more thought-provoking conversation this week. I thought it was really good.
Yes, loved it.
Diversity In Recruitment is her company.
Is her brand.
Kind of, yes, does what it says on the tin, really.
Yeah, all things diversity and inclusion. I agree with you. Thought-provoking is definitely a good way to describe it, as well as all the usual kind of stuff around like her background and her obsession with Essex gangsters and how she grew up in recruitment as a contract recruiter to go through to where she is now into the charity space to then be doing diversity and inclusion. I thought it was really good. We got matching t-shirts.
We did.
We're
wearing.
Always a win with her brand. And we got to meet the little love of her life as well.
Yeah.
She brought the love of her life with her. But no, I did, genuinely really enjoyed this conversation. One of the things that got me actually is right near the end of the conversation when we spoke about how she looks back at how she used to be in the past and how she used to treat people.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the mistakes that she's made and how raw and open she was in saying, actually, like, I know that I mistreat people and this is how I've tried to kind of rectify that in later life.
And
I thought there's some really good stuff
out.
in there.
I thought it was really interesting. And also, she was really complimentary about us.
She
and
was.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Thank you so much for coming on, Joe. It was lovely. And I hope you enjoy it.
You're boss at recruitment and you're going alone. You've got your LinkedIn account and your mobile phone. You've got the candidates playing hard to get. Will they'll call you next week or a no, not yet. So much time of going to and fro. You got another offer or salary's too low. Hours of searching and hours of stress. Come on candidates, just gig it a rest.
We'll just stick the intro in front, me and him will do it.
Yeah.
I'll send it all to you before so that you've got the chance to approve it. And,
I'm not, listen, honestly.
You're-
Unless I mention any names, obviously, but you do beep them out, don't you?
Yeah, we beat them out.
requested,
Appreciate you coming up though, mate. Where have you come from today?
I've cut Essex,
Whereabouts?
Loughton,
Oh, I don't know where that is.
end of the Central Line.
Okay, so quite close to...
Yeah, it's
Quite
like
close to
it's,
London, Essex.
Yeah, it's perfect location actually because you've got 40 minutes into city.
Yeah.
And then I'm right next to Epping Forest. So
Okay.
you've got like all the forest
That's
and
just
then
Epping way.
you've got all Essex countryside because it's massive as a county,
yeah.
right? So it's like, it's really diverse. So you've got all these like towns and then you've got countryside, seaside, you've got everything. I mean, you've got like Southend.
Yeah.
Have you been? Oh, is
So I'm from.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
He's
That's
born
what-
and bred in South
Yeah.
End.
Mate, I'm
born
trying
in
to
South-
teach you about Essex and I'm a northerner.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I went because I thought you were in Essex,
Yeah.
but I didn't know whereabouts in Essex. But yeah, I was born in Southend Hospital.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Southend does get a bad rap, doesn't
Yeah.
it? But
Well-
I actually really like it. It's
ya?
quirky.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you go
honestly-
down there often?
Sometimes,
Joe's on the amusements down there.
do you know what?
The
When
penny
my
slots.
first experience of Southend was ages ago. And most of my stories are linked to boyfriends randomly.
Okay.
But I went out with a guy and I was obsessed in, like that Essex gangster culture.
Okay.
Right.
I watched Rise of the Foot Soldier.
Oh, what's his name?
Oh.
What's the geezer in that called? That's going to bug me now. But he's from Southend, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's all about the Range Rover murders, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got obsessed in gangland Essex culture and just watched all like loads of documentaries, all the films relating to it. And I even had like the boyfriend at the time took me around to like some of the places, and he took me to
Gangster tours.
this place, where all the is it Southend was all the slot machines and the
Yes,
clubs and all of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just like, it was a real thing. I still really interested in it.
I know exactly the film you mean.
Yeah, and they did loads of sequels, and it just got weird.
Did it?
Yeah.
Right.
I think they ended up in Marbella at some point, but
don't
yeah,
know
I
actually. I don't know if I've seen it.
yeah, it's just really, really interesting. It's all it's all based around kind of like the 90s. Like rave scene, and it goes from it talks about the transition from like this boozy club culture to when ecstasy came on the scene and what that did in terms of dealing and people making lots of money and the rave scene and all of that stuff. And I just found it like really fascinating because I was like kind of I was on the cusp of it. It was a little bit too early for me.
What? Okay.
You know, kind of like that kind of. I made it.
Early 90s
80s, 90s. Okay. I made it to the club probably, don't know, mid 90s.
Okay.
But yeah. So sorry.
Good time. Bless him. I love it. He's so cute. Because in that film he takes a pill, doesn't he? And he's like, it's not impacting me. It's not having an effect on me. And he's adamant that it's not working. And then it like flashes forward an hour later. And he's like,
and it just completely changes like the clubbing scene. And it's, And I love all the music and everything. But I like the like bad boy culture behind it. Do you know what I mean?
Got you into that?
I mean, maybe I'm just but I'm not as straight laced as people think.
Because this is why I'm interested to talk to you today, because I obviously only know you through like LinkedIn, and I feel like you've got a very good brand on LinkedIn. Thank you. Do you not think?
I don't want to give it the massive ones, but you know, I've worked really hard at it, and what I love about my brand is I talk about a topic that people think is a bit like work.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, and takes itself really seriously, and rightly so. But what I try to bring it in is like the reality of it, and a down to earth approach, and give people a reality check, and try and blend in being like a recruiter, being switched on, not being an academic, just being about doing the right thing by people without being like that whole formal school teacher approach.
Right, yeah.
And also, I guess running my own business has given me the green light, or whatever you want to call it, to just be whoever I want to be. Because I've been institutionalized. Sounds weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, what does that mean?
Being in an institution. No, I feel like, because I've been in the corporate world from, you know, 2000, joining Adecco, and then, you know, my final employed job was with bloody AppScope, for goodness sake. You couldn't get, you know, more of a contrast to what I do now.
Yeah.
And you've always working for somebody else, always under someone else's brand.
Sure.
You know, you can't really bring even though people say you can't bring yourself, especially publicly. You've always got to toe a line. You've always got to have a corporate personality. And so having my own brand and running my own business, I took full advantage of being able to say are we allowed to swear?
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Oh god. Yeah.
Being able to say what the fuck I want without pissing people off, but bringing with people with me, but just calling out the stuff that we all know exists and happens.
Yeah.
But there's no consequences for me, other than people might think I'm a dickhead and not want to work with me.
Yeah. But I think you present yourself well, and it sounds like you're kind of you've put a lot of effort into it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm more interested in knowing that like person you're saying from the 90s, like that side. That's what I'm excited to find out about you today, because I think I've seen you online and I'm like, I want to know like really the true Joe. So that boyfriend, was he an Essex boy?
He was an Essex boy.
Oh no.
Yeah. He was an Essex boy, and I met him through work. I pretty much have my entire, apart from husband, my entire dating history is all connected into work. I'm one of those people in recruitment that I dated whoever was
in the office.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Like I was the one who dated all the
boys.
The decent, the lads.
Right. Okay.
And I'll earn that, you know, because I have to do. I was single. It was the vibe. It was the culture of recruitment, and you know, I didn't work my way around the office. Some would argue that maybe I did, but I didn't. But I think that you just spend so much time, you know, it's might have changed a bit now, but when I was a recruiter, you spent all of your time at work, all of your time out of work with the people from work, and then even your weekends, you would get together and do stuff. It was such a social piece. It was such a culture. And so naturally, because you didn't really have a life out of work back in those days.
Yeah.
And so I think it just, naturally, you don't have a biggest thing in common, recruitment. Not that you would be chatting about recruitment all the time, but it attracts similar people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny how the world's changing as well, because like listening to you there talk about it was all day in the office, all evening with the same people.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's completely changed now, isn't it? There's such a separation.
Yeah, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because if I was running a recruitment business now, I certainly wouldn't be encouraging everybody to be hanging out with each other after work.
Sure.
I'd want them to go home, have the dinner, go to the gym, get well rested, and give me 100%.
Sure.
Whereas, back in the day, you were probably you were all right on a Monday, maybe a bit ropey Monday morning.
Yeah.
Give it your best Tuesday, give it your best, Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday. I always think that's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That we want this kind of culture of pay them well, but get them to spend it. But yet we never kind of think about the inefficiency that hangovers and and everything that comes with it create for us from a profitability and a productivity perspective.
Sure.
I've worked in many recruitment businesses where at least 2 days of the week, you've not got the best out of everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Isn't that wild when you think about it?
Oh God, yeah. If I went out on a big weekend, I would say genuinely Wednesday would be when I'd come back around.
And then you'd start again.
Yeah, well, almost. Yeah, on Friday you're warming up on Friday to go again, right?
Yeah.
So when I started running my own business, I was like, I need to tone it down because otherwise, if you waste, like you say, it's so inefficient, waste so much time. How old were you so your first job was in London, was it? How old were you?
My first job was in Bradford, actually.
I was in Bradford.
Yeah.
Because you're from Leeds, right?
I'm from Leeds, Leeds, Bradford.
You've still kept the northern accent. That's not washed off.
If you heard me when I'm up with my northerners, it's even broader.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. And, some people think that I'm you're a bit straight talking, you're a bit overpowering. I'm like, you hang out with the northern folk and they just, they struggle to get a word in edgeways.
Yeah. They're a funny bunch up there as well. They always make me laugh.
They are. They're good. So my first I guess, was it 5 years in recruitment were up north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I moved down to London when I was, I think 2005, moved down to London.
Right, okay. It's early 20s.
Yeah.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
So you're hitting, when you say you're kind of dating the guys in the office, you're at that age where you do that stuff, right? You go out, enjoy yourself. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean...
Oh. Did I scare you?
No, you probably just heard something.
Yeah.
Sit down, sit. Sorry.
No, he's fine.
I'm there going, no, he didn't say anything, and he's there getting involved.
Head of security.
He's getting jealous because you're talking about my ex-boyfriends.
Are you the new man on the scene?
Honestly, this dog just dominates my life.
Does he?
Yeah.
How long have you had him?
6 years.
And you said you got him as a rescue?
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't know much about, buying dogs online and responded to an advert where it looked all legit and then turned up and it was just puppy farm hell. It was awful. And we just were we knew it was wrong, but we just had to take him because he was in such a mess.
Oh, was he? Was he the only one?
There was loads, but in this filthy, disgusting shed in the middle of a field. And,
where?
God, Manchester.
Oh, Manchester.
God Manchester or something. It's somewhere.
Yeah.
It's it's not far from here, I don't think. I don't know. Anyway, we just responded to this ad. We were coming back we'd spent Christmas up north and we were driving back to London and my husband was messing around on this app because we'd been thinking about getting a dog because we'd just moved into a new house. And he was like, oh, they've got, should we pop in and have a look? And it was all typical family stuff, blah, blah, growing up with kids, beautiful home. And then we got there and it was down a track in a field. And he was really poorly and he had mites and his ears were infected and he was terrified. You could have never, he'd be hiding, trembling. Yeah. But it's taken us quite a few years to bring him on, but he's beautiful.
He's very chill.
He is. He's just he's definitely my soulmate dog.
Is he?
Really?
Yeah, I love him. Because I've not got kids either. So, I think for me, it just gives me that,
Yeah,
I think naturally
child, right?
we've all got we've got an area for us in our minds and our hearts to love a child, haven't we? And if you've not got a kid, maybe this facilitates that. Yeah, it
Yeah.
plugs that
that.
need to love something. But I didn't understand how much you could love an animal until
Really?
I got him. Yeah, it scares me, because I love him so much. Like I do love my husband, but he can take care of himself. But for him, he's so like vulnerable. It's everything. It makes me realise how responsible I have to be for him.
Fully grown adult now.
Yeah, there's no way he would have fit into my previous party life.
What age did you give the party life up?
Do you know what? It kind of started to fizzle out. I left a company, one of my where I'd spent a big stint of time, and it was where I'd met a lot of friends and had a brilliant social life.
Do you still have any of them now? Are they still, you still in contact with them?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I went to work for a very serious like corporate recruitment firm in the city. My old company was actually, when I first started there, it was part of James Caan's group.
Oh, was it? Did you ever have anything to do with him?
I met him a few times.
Did you?
Yeah, we'd go to conferences and whatnot and Christmas parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it had a management buyout, and Tim Cook from Hayes came in, and they had a management buyout, and it was a group of different brands and whatnot. But it was it's Engage now.
Right.
You familiar with that?
No, I don't.
They're kind of like one of the main like enterprise.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, and then I left there because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, because I've been in recruitment for ages.
Yeah.
How many years at this point?
So was it about 14 years?
Right, okay.
I think.
Okay.
And I was like, let me choose a recruitment business that gives me exposure to potentially what I might want to do for a living.
Right, okay.
So I joined a very, very reputable HR recruitment business called Fraser Jones, part of the SR group. And I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to be like recruiting all these people that I could potentially align with in terms of my experience. And I'd done a lot of recruitment in education and the charity sector for the majority of my career today, which I loved. But I kind of thought I need a bit of city exposure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So this was before you come to the city?
No. I was still working in the city, but I mean in terms of like, the London Stock Exchange.
Okay.
You know, top tier banking, hedge funds.
Yeah.
Magic Circle law firms. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought I needed to see how that world worked. Because when you work in education and your clients are schools and your candidates are teachers, or when you're working in the charity sector, which was an absolute privilege, it was amazing.
Yeah.
What charities did you work with?
I worked with absolutely loads.
Did you?
Anything from Macmillan Cancer Support, Cancer Research UK, NSPCC, all the big ones. But for me, I really loved recruiting for, the smaller niche ones, that were addressing a particular social problem where there was a real lack of investment. And I used to recruit professional fundraisers into those charities. So people that were responsible for bringing in the money, not chuggers on the street. I mean, like high net worth individual fundraising, corporate fundraising, direct marketing, all of that stuff. And it was absolutely amazing, and it really, really fed into my social awareness. I think sometimes you can be a little bit like, you can have a lot of blind spots when it comes to understanding how the world works and how society functions, and that we're not all on the same path or have access to the same resources. You spend a decade recruiting in the charity sector and you begin to understand like exactly how society stands.
Interesting.
And it was fascinating. And that for me, like recruitment wise.
Was that internal, sorry, when you were charity? Or
No,
were you still
it was working for recruitment business.
Right,
I worked for 3 of the top recruitment businesses that were known for that space. I didn't even know that world existed until I met a rec to rec. When I was in education, and she was like, you'd be brilliant in the charity sector, because I was very much about purpose and mission. I listened to your what's it called this morning, interview with Michelle Flynn.
She's lively, Michelle.
She's just left me a message, actually.
Really?
I love her.
Yeah,
and it was
she's
really
class.
good because it really got me to, I didn't, you never sit down with somebody and really go through, interview them like that.
Yeah.
So even though I know Michelle, I didn't really know that, cars turning up in delivery vans and how successful she was for a recruiter. And interestingly, how like money motivated she was. I just,
she was switched on,
because I
was
see
on
her
it.
as in a version 2 now, right?
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope these guys are not going to be expecting me to be like give it the massive ones about being really financially successful and having cars and whatnot, because that was never my thing. I didn't care, and that was probably to my own detriment and the frustration of people that manage me. But for me, it was like, as cheesy as it sounds, it was the classic: am I making a difference through the decisions that I make?
Okay.
It's
very wholesome.
Am I helping this candidate get to where they need to be from a career development perspective, but also understanding how that critical career decision has a ripple effect across their family, their future, their health, their mental health, and and where they might be in 5 years' time. And it was never for me about money. So I was a nightmare. Like, I didn't care about like targets and commission and stuff like that. I mean, when I got it, I liked it and spent it straight away. But it wasn't, that wasn't my motivation. So that's how, going back to how I got into charity recruitment, I met a rec-to-rec, and she told me about, because when you work in education, your motivation cannot be. I mean, I got paid a lot of money in education recruitment. The margins were massive.
So it's like contract temp stuff.
It was like day to day. Yeah, you would be
fast
earning,
turn, right?
Oh my gosh! So I was at my desk at 6:30 in the morning, making really important decisions about where to send what teacher.
Okay.
And that's not just, this is a key stage 2 teacher, we'll put them there. It's like you've got to think about all these other things. The classroom management, whether they've got this experience, that experience. You don't, where they were located back in the day when you had your maps stuck to your desk and you were working out all the journeys for them and all of that kind of stuff.
Old school, like pre-Google Maps era, like.
Yeah, TomTom era.
TomTom era.
Yeah.
Solid.
TomTom era.
No,
Do you remember they used to stick and they never used to stay? Mine never used to stay. You had to like lick the thing.
You would be lucky if your teachers had mobile phones. You'd be ringing them with landlines and you'd be giving them all the details and directions.
And then just sending them on their way and then just hoping.
And you're starting early to make sure everyone's knows where they're going for that day.
So the bulk of your work in the morning for your before school starts was all the the bookings would be coming in. We need cover.
What time they start rolling in those? So because you're saying you don't know the night before. You go home and you're like,
you've got to make sure your availability lists. Oh my god, this is making me really like reminisce. You've got to make sure you've got to all in recruiter land, all your contractors.
Yeah,
you got to know exactly where they are and where they want to be the next day.
Right. Okay.
So this is why it is very much like contract recruitment. All your energy as an education recruiter goes into building relationships with a pool of teachers that trust you to get and work every day and will prioritise you over every other agency desperately trying to get hold of them.
Yeah, sure.
Because
it's like the Wild West, that, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. And it is, and the way that you treat teachers is critical because they still hold the power. Because it was a candidate-driven market. So you do all your day-to-day supply in the morning, take a breath at 9 o'clock, have your breakfast, have a cup of coffee, have a swig of your brandy, whatever you're doing. Because education recruiters like to party. And then during the rest of the time, you would be looking at, if it were dependent on time of year, you'd be looking at your long-term placements. So your long-term contracts, like your term, 2 terms or an academic year. So you'd be focusing on that stuff. And then it was just focused on getting your teachers in, interviewing new teachers.
Yeah.
You can't use, there was no such thing as LinkedIn. Well, there was, but teachers don't go on LinkedIn even now, I don't think.
No, I'd agree. I don't think they do.
No, I'd agree. Yeah.
Headhunting's like,
well, they do, but it won't really be a profile. It will just be
exactly. They're not checking. They're not checking. Like, they're not following your content. Unless you're doing stuff. True. I've known. Because I do like lots of stuff in the industry where I do awards and judge on award panels and stuff. So, and actually the teacher recruitment stuff is for me some of the most innovative stuff.
Yeah, interesting.
The technology that those folks have in these days, like they probably don't even need recruiters making decisions at 7 o'clock in the morning. They've got teachers got portals. They say where they'll go. They say where they want to go. They say when they're available. Job comes in.
And
off they go.
Yeah, job's a good one. But yeah, it was very, very different. You do a lot of lots of events. You'd attend conferences. Headhunting was icky because if you pull a teacher from a school, it has an impact on the kids.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's and if a school found out you were headhunting their teachers, they wouldn't use you again, right?
But you wouldn't headhunt from a school that you are engaging with to send them.
The thing is, we had patches, so I would have. I never headhunted, but if in theory you've got patches, so I had Hackney and Islington when I was in London, and you've only got really there about, I think I had about maybe 110 if I remember. I did primary schools. That's it.
Yeah.
So, and they all talk. They're all connected. Yeah. So you couldn't headhunt. But what you had to do is just absolutely knock your teachers on the floor with, not literally, but knock them dead with how much you cared about them and how much you listened to them and the gigs that you got them. And that would mean they'd recommend you to all the other teachers.
It's the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's the way life is now, I think.
And also, they would do the stuff, because you'd always have these schools where people were like, oh, I can't go back there.
Right.
And you'd be like, mate, I ain't got anyone else that's got that classroom management that you have. Will you just do the rest of the week for me then? And okay.
Asking for favours. But that's relationships, right?
Oh, yeah. It was amazing. I absolutely loved working in that space. And, sometimes people say you can't be a permie, you can't be an exec recruiter and be a good temps or contracts. But I believe that I did both.
Did you?
Because, I mean, if you're making decisions like that at 6:30 in the morning, right, that is temp, that is contract.
Yeah.
I've lost my train of thought.
Oh, we've gone miles away. I can't even remember what I answered. I struggled. I was a perm typically.
Yeah.
And I was put on a temp desk and really struggled.
Did you?
I don't know if it was just chance or timing or whatever, but I just couldn't get it going. And they switched me back to perm and I was just just found my feet again.
Yeah. I think and now having more awareness about neurodiversity because of the work that I do, it makes me really understand why. If I was running a recruitment business now, I love saying that. If I was running a recruitment business now, I would really want to understand, how people's brains work. And I'd seen it throughout my career and I'd probably been part of the problem where you're not really doing a deep dive enough on how people's brains work on desk. And you're putting them on desks that are not going to bring out the best in them. And then you're going, you failed. You're not a very good recruiter without giving them an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's some recruitment businesses especially with their grads, they'll try them, they'll do stints.
Okay.
I worked for a recruitment business where they would do that with the grads. They might do Q1 there, Q2 there, and they would figure out where their brains best adapt. Because you might, some people would find I class myself as neurotypical. I have got some neurodivergent traits, but I'm not going to say, I've got the challenges as people who are neurodivergent. So I think that's why I was a bit more adaptable. I finished my career doing retained stuff.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And I love the pace of retained work. But I also...
Faster or slower?
How slow it is.
Slower.
And how intricate it is and how... how
it's less slapdash, right? It's less fast as finger.
Yeah, and just I guess the level of your relationship with your client, your consultancy, your interviewing, this is where I first was introduced to scoring and weighting and proper, competency-based interviews and all of that lovely stuff. But I'm happy in that space. Give me 3 months to work a job. Love it. But then I also absolutely thrived on 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, sending 20 teachers out to work and doing that, like, yeah.
Right, bang,
so that, but I do think that we're more likely to get it right if we really start thinking about neurodiversity through the recruitment, through the actual hiring process.
Okay.
And we embrace it.
It's a complex thing though, right? It's not. Is it complicated or not?
It's complicated if you want to make it complicated. It's just about having conversations and opening up psychologically safe spaces for recruiters to be really honest about what works for them.
Sure.
Instead of us dismissing people as not being good enough, when actually put in the right environment, they're bloody brilliant.
Right, yeah.
And I speak from a place of experience where I've managed recruiters who I've deemed as not good enough because they weren't like me. They didn't do the job like, they didn't do the job like me. Yeah. They weren't confident in this area. They weren't confident in that area. Even when I was speaking to them, they weren't giving me eye contact and they were a bit fidgety and a bit like, just head down all day, not talking, not taking part, wouldn't use the database, had 25,000 spreadsheets of unnecessary, my language, unnecessary information.
Yeah.
Even though I'm thinking about someone in particular, that person's placement ratios were higher than mine. Right.
Funny that, right?
But because there was no conformity, I couldn't. Why are you not joining in? Why are you not going out and seeing clients? Why won't you give people blah, blah, blah? Yeah. All traits of certain.
Just
the institution, though. It kind of comes back to what you were saying earlier about being institutionalized.
Yeah. And I made
it's the same thing.
I have to admit, and there's been various case studies I've got in my head, I made that person's life difficult, unnecessarily difficult. They were billing, and that's all that really mattered. Yeah. If I'd have created an environment where I could understand how that person's brain worked. I mean, there was no conversations about neurodiversity 16 years ago.
Sure.
Right. But I do think that it is an underutilised tool for hiring managers and team managers in the recruitment industry to really figure out, like, that person, whose brain works like that, they are never going to get on the phone, but look at what they can do. Look at how they can crunch the data, look at how they look at their social media, whatever it might be. I think and it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just understanding there's different folks for different strokes, and making sure that you're having conversations with people about, like, what they're really good at in the interview process. And I'm going to get on one now, but I still don't think...
I
still don't think that our interviews for recruiters are skills-based enough. I still find a lot of recruitment businesses are not asking... They're not giving recruiters any old school intro exercises. They're not asking them to write content. They're not asking them to, translate a job brief from a client and create a marketing campaign behind the job. They're not necessarily... they're not testing things like, interviewing techniques and pattern spotting and all of the things that you need to be good at, like as a recruiter. We're just, a lot of the time we still take recruiters on face value. How do you feel about that person when they walk through the door? Therefore, because I felt good, other people will feel good. Therefore, they will make a good recruiter. And it's like, some of the best people who give best impressions look the part, talk the part, feel the part, charismatic, get them on desk. They're not finishers, they're just starters. They can't fill jobs. They're a nightmare at managing relationships, remembering stuff and all of that. But if we think about the fundamentals that are needed now as a modern day recruiter, I still meet recruiters now who, en masse, who cannot get in front of a camera and create video content. And that's fine if 50% of your sales team don't like video content. But if 99.9% of them are not good at video content in 2026, you've got an issue. If they're not...
So you would push that now when you go into businesses, like the video stuff?
I mean, look,
you've seen what it's done for you, though, right?
Yeah, but there's different ways, right? Isn't there? There's different ways now of setting up a personal brand.
Yeah.
I mean, why are we not training recruiters to get in front of a camera and feel confident? I don't get it. Why are we not training recruiters to actually be creators and be influencers? Why are we not looking at? Well, some people do look at recruiter socials, but you know, it's to figure out whether or not they said something wrong 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. We're not we're not looking at, crikey, this person's epic on TikTok. They've got look at their engagement, look how many followers they've got, look at what their tech skills are and creation in pulling this together. You know, this could be a real asset. What they're doing is they're like, can you come into the business and can you just get on the phone? Or can you go through our sales process that we've had for donkey's years and fit into that? They're not, I don't think we're looking at people's social content and influencer skills outside of the day job.
Sure.
Because that is gold, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah, for us it's been massive, hasn't it? Like if we think we've started, and you'll probably, how long have you been doing content for, would you say now?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And when did you start to see it really was there a point where you were like, oh, it's really moving the needle now?
I just threw myself into it just after COVID.
Okay.
I wish I'd done it during COVID.
Okay.
Because
everyone was at home watching.
You know, a lot of those influencers now who sell very expensive LinkedIn content training, I feel that they've got COVID legacy following.
Right. Okay.
Legacy following. They captured the audience when everyone they showed up when everyone was looking.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody wanted somebody to connect with and follow.
Sure.
You know, I think about my obsessions with people. I used to hang on their every word during COVID.
Right.
I used to watch, you know, they'd do live broadcasts every night at 6:00.
Who are you talking about?
There was one person in particular in the D&I space.
Right, okay.
Because I was really interested in that at that moment in time.
Yeah.
And that's what led me to setting up my own business. There was one woman, anti-racism campaigner, Shireen Daniels, and she used to do a live at 6:00 every night. And I
used to tune into it?
Every night. I wasn't listening. Yeah. And I think there is, you know, it was just at the right time. And so unfortunately, I didn't show up enough. I was working for Apsco at the time. Yeah. So there was no way I was going to be able to go on social and show up as me, right?
Yeah.
But then I still class myself as being able to get on the back of that, the end bit of the wave.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I started to see a step change when I started to think more strategically about social media.
Oh, interesting.
And LinkedIn in particular. I don't use socials for my private socials for anything.
You don't?
No, I don't. I'm not.
So you're purely just LinkedIn?
I am, but I do recognise that my audience that I'm selling to are no longer, you know, they're not all boomers and they're not all Gen X hanging out on LinkedIn. Decision makers are now, you know,
you'd probably find you'd do all right on TikTok, you know?
Yeah, the young millennials and the Gen Zers.
Yeah.
And I have got, as you know, I've got a lot of stuff to say. So, and for me, sometimes LinkedIn's not the platform for opinion pieces.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Right? I'd agree.
And I think, TikTok, I've got a bee in my bonnet or a fire in my belly. Let me just jump on.
Yeah.
You should,
unleash. Like we've got a friend who's done quite well on TikTok, Ronan.
I know, yeah.
And him and his brothers have probably got about 2 million followers on TikTok now.
Wow.
But he got his mum into it, and she does legal advice, and he was like, Mum, you need to get on it and just talk about, like you say, the rants or what true, because I think she specialises in divorce law.
I follow a woman.
Right, okay, we'll get her up after and check.
Is
it true?
She was on this morning for a bit.
She's on this morning.
I follow her. She's amazing. She's amazing.
Okay, so, and he was just like, Mum, you just need to do it. Yeah. And she was like, she's going to be in her 50s, something like that. Yeah. And just got stuck in, and it's completely changed the game for her. She's now morning telly.
And I think this is a mindset we've got to
do well.
I think sometimes we're too tempted to sell peer-to-peer. I think that my stakeholders are boomers or Gen Z Xers like me.
Yeah.
But they're not. You know, I went to a physio appointment yesterday and my physio is 27 years old.
Yeah, you just don't,
he's a major part of the business. He's a decision maker. You know, he's running the business.
Sure.
He's 20 years younger than me. And
they're scary when stuff like that. But I hate it.
You know, when you're physio and your teachers and your doctors and your directors of HR and directors of marketing, you know, in my head, it's always my age or above. They're the people at the top because I forget. that I'm not 27 anymore.
You do, yeah.
So, and I see this a lot. It's like, why are you constantly in that world selling to that group of people? I do an intergenerational sales training program, which works really well. It's encouraging like salespeople and recruiters and sales leaders to think about BD differently. And whenever I say, actually, TikTok, our clients aren't on there. Well, of course they are.
Yeah.
Are you on there? Yeah. Well, there you go. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So I need to get into it.
We get loads. We get quite a few leads from TikTok, don't we? Because we track everything comes, and I've got a little TikTok, and I've not got many. I've got 207 followers or something ridiculous. But we probably pick up, I would say, between 5 to 8 a month, maybe customers from TikTok. Yeah.
It's just getting people from different areas onto different platforms, isn't it? It might be that I want to move them from TikTok and then they start following me more on LinkedIn or...
TikTok's good in the sense that you don't necessarily, how I understand it, you don't necessarily need to have like loads of followers or like...
Yes.
But you could have like a random video that just goes...
Boom.
8,000, million if you're lucky.
And it's... My biggest fear of doing that is, although people might critique LinkedIn and say, you get approached by this person, people say horrible things. I very rarely get that. And
that's nice.
Yeah, very, very, very rarely.
That's nice.
But I know I've got a strategy to avoid it, right? But the one thing that worries me is how exposed you are, like on...
You are really exposed.
Something like TikTok. And it's like the Wild West. Somebody could send you something that's incredibly damaging or say something or really hurtful. I once went on a podcast with somebody a few years ago and he had it on TikTok, and I don't know why he did this. It was a very weird move, but he decided to screenshot all the vile misogynistic things that people had said about me. And honestly, it really... I'm very much... If I can't see it, it doesn't affect me.
Okay.
And so TikTok worries me. But I didn't realise I could actually just turn comments off. Don't necessarily have to have comments on that.
Yeah.
Why do you think it impacts you, out of interest? Because I'm the polar opposite to you. Like if I see something said that will just wash off me straight away. Like I don't think anyone could say anything to me online that would damage.
I'm gonna pull the woman card as a woman.
Right. Okay.
Right. When people make threats against your saying what they want to do to you, I mean,
right, okay.
And things like that, that's the reality that we live in. You've got a lot more authority and power to say something and it won't tell people that they want to, do things to you, come round to your house, blah blah blah.
Right, okay.
Whereas
so that's very okay. That's
and whereas and whether we accept that or not. It's a slightly different world that we're navigating, isn't it?
Sure.
And so I think you've got to be conscious, and especially some of the things I talk about as a way of, as I said, I've got a strategy to almost pacify the haters and to protect myself, and also not to be seen as somebody who shouts at everybody and tells everybody they're wrong, which tends to work.
Yeah.
I still talk about something that is highly emotive, and
it divides
people,
opinion, right? For some reason.
When you actually look at the bare bones of it, it's wild to think it divides opinion. But because of the rhetoric through mainstream media, people automatically assume that I'm, a man hater, and I'm a fearless, man hating feminist or whatever.
Right. They put you in a box, basically.
Yeah, and all the wrongs of the world are on people who believe in equality and doing the right thing by human beings.
Yeah, scary, isn't it? Shall we switch it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes.
As you may know, because you've watched Michelle's podcast this morning. She didn't get a gift.
No.
But everyone that comes
I didn't finish the end.
Oh, did you not?
No.
She didn't, because she was like a surprise.
Did she give you the mouth?
She did give us the mouth things. But you do have a gift.
With a slight
tinge of us mucking things up as we usually do.
So,
do you want to explain what's happened here?
Oh, you've got the wrapping. Is this your wrapping paper?
Giig wrapping paper. Yeah, that's our brand.
So, the present hasn't come. It's coming. This is what the present is.
Oh, right,
this is a picture of the present.
Right.
But we still need to open something, so we got you something.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Do I open it?
Yeah. Feel your boost.
boots. I mean, you guys have nailed this idea, haven't you? And
Do
it
you
really,
think?
I love the whole present giving thing. It's
Do you?
brilliant.
Yeah.
Why?
It's just different.
Just different. Oh, nice.
And it
Okay.
just shows that, like, to buy somebody a present, you got to think about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, we try. And I think for us, and that's just the temporary one.
Oh my gosh, this is just enough.
That's for him.
Yeah.
What's this?
Do you think he'll carry it?
Well, it depends. I mean, if
Or you could try.
I mean, I don't know about him carrying it.
Well, there you go.
That's so funny. Thank you.
And the real thing is in there. So we
Am I
ordered
allowed
it.
to open this?
Yeah,
Please do. I'm gutted it's not arrived because
It will probably come later today.
yeah,
course
knowing
it
I like
is.
it will probably come later today. And I would have loved to have seen it in the flesh, but we will get it to you in some way, shape, or form.
No.
We've bought you matching outfits. You've got matching outfits coming in that colour.
yeah.
I don't know if that
I
colour.
love that colour. It's one of my favourites. That is one of the coolest. That is so cool.
So
That is. Do you know how good that's going to be in Essex?
I think it'll be phenomenal. Well, and we've obviously guessed the sizing. We actually went to AI for the sizing. We gave AI a little photo of you two out walking, and it came back saying based on this image we would recommend, and we gave it the size guides.
Dog sizes. There's there's so many.
Yeah.
There was like 12 different sizes, and we were like, oh my lord.
gosh,
like,
that is going to.
So you are going to end up with matching hoodies.
So
and
matching hoodies and the little
the little bag,
Louis
the little.
bag.
dog's
That is
toy.
brilliant. I've got a present for you too.
Oh, I did
no.
see.
Right. I mean, look, it is a little bit strategic. I'm not going to lie.
That's
but
fine.
I think it's a really, this is something that a message that I'm trying to push out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you feel like we're the guys.
Well, it depends how brave you are. But I do want to add some, like, you're going to say, oh gosh, I'm not sure whether I'm brave enough to go ahead with that. But I want to offer you some advice if you do decide to go ahead with whatever's in this bag.
This is all of a sudden really intense.
So this is recycled from my husband's birthday party. Sorry.
Nice. Thank you.
There's one each. I hope I got the sizing right.
Is it a lucky dip?
Well, you might want to just go. I was looking at your pictures to see what might suit you in terms of colours.
Here we go, t-shirts. Wow, we've got matching outfits. That's amazing. Do you want us to get changed now?
I mean, you don't have to, but it would look good on camera.
Yeah, for
wouldn't it?
sure.
Nice.
We can 100% get changed now as long as you're happy.
And then
doing
we
that.
can. I mean, I
Are you
don't
happy
know
with
whether
your colour?
Yeah.
I don't know
with
whether or
Yeah.
not they're too big, but I spoke
that's
to
fine.
Kate, and I said, Kate O'Neill, what size do we think the lads are going to be? And she's like, well, one might be a little bit bigger than the other, and it's
does that
a
mean-
matching business card.
100% we'll wear them, for sure. And do you know what's funny? Kate, I also asked Kate about your sizes as well. So Kate's had it from both of us.
do you want a water or anything?
I'm all right with this.
Give us
Thanks.
2
Yeah.
secs and we'll...
No worries.
Absolutely,
Oh,
yes.
I'm glad you're up for that.
Come on, candidates, just Giig it a rest.
Are they too?
I came out of the bathroom like that.
Oh, they're not too bad, are they?
No, it's
I mean, I can't. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I can't guarantee that they're going to wash amazingly well. I mean, they're not like, But what I've so
Is this your slogan then? The woke as fuck.
well, I use it. I've started. I really want.
Thank you, by the way.
to-
It's very
no
kind of
worries.
you.
I really want to
Matching t-shirts.
like, because there is a very like anti-work movement, and I am. There is lots of elements of my business that I have changed because I need to stay alive business-wise to do the work and make a difference for candidates and human beings, right? So there are certain things where I've changed my language and whatnot, but like ultimately I'm not going to stop being work. And work has been, as a word, has been weaponized. People will, even when you think the way it's portrayed on TV and it's just, it's made into a joke and it's not actually representative of what the language means. And, I call them, the Piers Morgan Brigade and his, his anti-work book.
yeah.
And you read that and you're like, has anyone actually ever sat down and really told you about what this language and what this word actually means? And so I've got I'm using it as a bit of a sub-brand. So when I've got it on, on my t-shirt, I've got the picture on my LinkedIn banner.
Sure.
So even though I might have done a slight rebrand or brand enhancement of what I do, no matter what, I'm still going to be awake and I'm still going to be aware of the inequality and challenges that people, marginalised groups face. We all face at some point because of our background, circumstances and identity.
Yeah.
And to say that I am anti that awareness would be a wild thing. So I've got my work recruiter newsletter, which does really well. I'm going to launch a work recruiter webinar series as well. And I just think that we need to take back control of this word and be, it isn't about what the media try to portray it as.
Right.
Why would we not be woke? It's to be awake. It's to be aware that there'll be something about you eventually, whether it's neurodiversity, whether it's about age, whether it's about mental health, whether it's about physical health, race, gender, a whole range of things. When you think about inequality, there's, education, social background, access to medical care.
Sure.
Even from the quality of teaching that you had at school and whether or not you got access to university or college, all of that stuff in society that if it all works in your favour and you get access to the best, you end up in a certain direction. But then if you don't, you can end up somewhere else. So if we are not awake to the inequality in society, we're sleepwalking into this agreement that actually you're right, let's get rid of it, let's get rid of inequality and then let's see what happens, because it will affect absolutely everybody. You two are young, right? But there will be a point, right, where you get to a point where the gigs start drying up, right? You become seen as a bit yesterday.
A bit crusty.
A bit out of touch.
A bit creepy.
I'm not sure creepy, but
crusty, isn't
that what I said?
This.
Well, when things get out, they get crusty.
This really derogatory. I hate it, where men are described as pale, male, stale.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, pale, male, stale.
And it is
that is us.
No,
pale male stale.
it means or you get pale male, and it's almost like it's derogatory, and actually it is discrimination, because the only thing that I can see is that the only thing that you've got on me in terms of an identity perspective, where you've got access to more things and slightly more privilege than me, is your gender. Everything else could align with everything I experience and all the barriers that I face.
Sure.
So when we put labels on men and that you're not involved in the conversation, well, of course they're part of the only thing is that the gender's a slightly more advantage.
Yeah.
But, we're all going to face some form of discrimination, and sometimes we've faced discrimination without even realising it.
Sure.
Because of who we are,
Sure.
how our brains work, our health, where we were born, our social class, our accent, our school, our upbringing, what our parents did for a living.
Sure. It all
that
impacts.
stuff. So is it a bad thing to actually be aware of inequality in society and want to do something about it?
That is true, because I feel, and this is getting, and I feel that what you say about having a voice is true, because I would feel as a white bloke, I very much can't, because I've not experienced it, or I'm seen to have had the best deck of cards, that it's not fair for me to comment.
Have you faced challenges in your life?
I've been very lucky. I mean, what would you define a challenge as? I always look at things a bit. My viewpoint is that I'm very privileged to have been born into the family I've been born into, the country I'm born in at this kind of time.
Yeah.
I always feel very grateful for all of that. Yeah. And I was talking to a friend about it this weekend. I don't feel like I have the right to be sad or complain, and it's just something in my brain that I just go.
You can feel out however you want. I mean, I'm not hung up on the inequality that I faced. I'm not going to feel like a victim.
Sure.
You know, somebody might say, well, it's okay as a white woman to say that.
Okay.
And that's their opinion, and that's right. My race has never had an impact on what rooms I get into or how I get treated,
sure.
right? But it's not to say that, you know, it could be that, and this will not happen, but what happens when that head of hair is grey and that face is wrinkly and you say you might have Botox and filler like me, but you know, you might choose not to. And you're in your 50s or your 60s and you're trying to, you know, sell your product and people are like, come on, mate. Give it a rest.
That's the name of the pod,
you know,
right?
Give it a rest. You know, and it's time to, you know,
like pack it in.
What do you know about technology? You know,
Yeah.
Or it might be that as you get older, you develop, and I hope you do. You might develop a long-term health condition. I've developed health conditions that stop me being able to do certain things. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
you know, those kind of things. It might be that you have a family, or you might have kids. Have you got kids?
No,
Yeah.
not yet.
This is. I see this kicking a lot. A lot of founders come to me and want to work with me, and I'm like, "What's triggered it?" I've got a kid who is neurodivergent or has a disability or whatever, and it's like this. Or I've had girls, and all of a sudden I've seen it. I've seen it play out.
Sure.
And so it might be that whatever it will be, if we don't stay aware, if we don't stay woke, it's good. At some point, you can't have a life, I don't think, without it, you facing a barrier, discrimination or prejudice, or somebody that you love, because it's baked into everything.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. So my experience with that's interesting. So I've got a cousin who's transgender, transitioned when she was 18, 19, and she's also got Asperger's, autism, and being close to her. So it's like my mum's sister's little girl.
Yeah.
Being close to her has made me a million times more aware of that whole situation compared to if I wasn't as close to somebody that I loved.
Yeah.
And I've heard people be derogatory about trans people and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of thought that could have been me, and maybe I'm only different because I've experienced it. But what you said there is bang on. Like, I've watched her grow up, and I remember her taking me out and saying, this is me and this is going to happen. And I've watched my auntie and uncle, and like they live in Upminster, and my uncle's side of the family is very West Ham United, East End type of family. So I've seen the challenges that they've gone through with that. And it, like you say there, it makes me a lot more aware of that whole world than maybe.
Well, absolutely.
Than maybe if I hadn't seen it.
And seeing, you know, saying that we need to step back from, you know, from diversity and inclusion, and that, you know, let's cross our fingers that I'm not even going to give them any airtime, but the party that are pushing for the deconstruction of D&I, it doesn't happen, because you will have seen firsthand the challenges that she's gone through. And it's just through a lack of education, it's through scaremongering, dog whistles, you know, social media. There've been trans people and refugees and immigrants are being blamed for everything. Well, everything that's wrong with the world. And actually, you being aware of this, you know, I hope that you're empowered, that whenever hopefully you're not, but if you're exposed to the banter that trans people face, you can be a voice in the room when they're not.
Yeah.
And you know what? I bet people will be like, oh, shoot, yeah, mate, sorry, got a point. And you're like, just so you know, what she goes through every day, I hope you never have to experience that, or any of your kids have to experience it. Because just because you have decided to live your truth and be who you are, all of a sudden you're blamed for everything that's wrong in society. And you're put in danger, and I won't go into it, it's too dark, isn't it? But yeah, it's interesting, because on the surface of it, you're like, why? What's D&I? Why are you working? It's like, every time I have a conversation, somebody's got a story. Somebody's connected to this in some way. People that we love and care about, right?
I think you're going to have I think it's always going to be there, unfortunately.
Well, there's always got to be.
I think you're not going to be out of work do you know what I mean? You're always going to be fighting that battle, because I think it's it's such a...
I am just about making sure that we put the human experience back into hiring and talent attraction, and we actually remember the candidate experience, and we think about this from a commercial perspective, and we make sure that our businesses are hiring the people that represent society, and we build high performing teams. Everything I talk about as a commercial aspect to it. For me, thank goodness, the byproduct is that people have a better life. But this is not about some fluffy, utopia that we're looking for. We're just looking to allow people to. Everybody deserves a great job and a brilliant career. And your identity and your background and your circumstance should never influence whether or not you get an interview or whether or not you get hired. But our brains are wired in a way to prefer certain people. And we have to take proactive measures with our recruitment processes and our decision making to make sure that we are more aware of how we hire and to actually go back to what a lot of us got into this job to do, and that is to make a difference to people's lives as well as our own.
Do you think it's getting better?
I think they've been pushed to get better.
Okay.
I definitely think that we are. I talked a lot about how the candidate experience just broke in 2025. I don't think that I've spoken to one person who's currently looking for a role who doesn't feel mentally and physically exhausted and drained from it.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a combination of things though. I think like technology coming and increasing jobs. I think jobs are getting more sparse. Because when we used to, this is going back a little bit, but we used to recruit together. It'd be interesting to get your opinion on this. When we were working with a business, I won't name them, they would double our fee based on if we gave them someone that they classified as diverse, didn't they? Do you remember? They used to, which was mainly spearheaded by being female, to be brutally honest with you. That was their classification.
I still see these, and that's against the law, right?
I thought
it's illegal to financially incentivise. Well, it's a grey area, but basically that's positive discrimination.
See, that's the thing,
which is against the law.
Is that?
How did that make you feel as a man? Just out of interest. I mean, at the time you were probably like money.
Yeah, it was more money. Yeah, it was
but
more.
How did it make you feel?
Us as a business or a duo, we kept looking for the right candidate. If they happened to be female, great. It wasn't like, right, we need to find females. It was like,
wasn't like we were shutting down men's opportunities.
No,
everyone still got sent to that client.
Yeah, that's good.
That's true.
And it was them to make the decision.
That's because of your ethics and values. But there are other people that would see that as a right. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to any men or putting any men forward for this job.
Oh no, we definitely did.
Right.
We definitely did.
Yeah, it would make sense.
And we were targeted on 40% as their supplier. We were targeted on 40% female hires.
I've seen this, and actually, if you look at the Equality Act 2010 around positive discrimination, it actually goes against what it sets out to place quotas and targets on identity markers like race, disability, gender. You are allowed to take positive action. So in that case, instead of I will give you a 10% extra fee if we hire a woman, because what that does is a zero sum game.
Yeah.
For most people, men are out of the picture. So you're now discriminating against men. Yeah. Which is not right. What we should be doing is what I train my recruiters to do is sit down with that client and go, that's really interesting. I completely understand why you are looking for representation in your senior leadership team.
Sure.
Let's help build out your employee value proposition and build out a marketing and search campaign that is going to bring more women into the mix.
Sure.
And I'm going to go through a list of questions now that I need information for, because I will need that when I'm trying to attract more women.
Yeah.
Then we will assess everybody on skill and capability, because it would be wrong of us to put forward somebody who is underqualified just because they were a woman, because of ABC. How do you feel about that? Does that feel more like a more sensible approach? And also, don't forget, I'm protecting risk here, because I don't want you to find yourself in a tribunal. Yeah. And this is what a lot of us, I didn't have that skill set to do that when I was recruiting. So, and it's a light bulb moment for people. They're like, oh my gosh, that really empowers me. And actually that helps me ask more questions, and it helps me educate the client and actually consult properly and not break the law. Sometimes as the moment you say, I can't do that because I'm here to mitigate your risk and I don't want to see you in court.
Yeah.
But let's do this instead.
Yeah.
And usually as soon as you do those things, you start to see a difference. You start... I've had clients where they've seen an immediate improvement in the percentage of women that have applied for usually their male-dominated roles just because they talked about flexible working, family building benefits, and the maternity and paternity pay.
Okay, I was going to ask. Yeah.
And showed the salary.
Right. Yeah,
and talked about progression and sponsorship and women in leadership. And it's like, it's not that is not complex or rocket science. That's just telling telling a different story that's going to appeal to a wider range. And in also doing that, you're also going to appeal to other marginalised groups as well, because it's not just women who want flexible working.
Sure.
And it's not just women who want, better paternity and better family building benefits. We all want a slice of that if we're building a family.
We can, for sure. Because you asked us, I was just thinking then, you asked us how it made us feel.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to the head of TA in that business, who was a male, and he had a conversation with me once where he was like, I just feel like I won't get promoted anymore. Because he was like, genuinely, without being horrible, if I'm going for a role and there's a female candidate going for the role that they're looking to promote, he was like, I know with the targets and stuff that manager, if they want to hit their quota for the year, they're incentivized to push the lady up the chain. And he was like,
this is what's creating the toxicity and the pushback. And this is why a lot of men, and I think it's valid, it's a valid feeling, feel disgruntled because they see this stuff happening within their employers and they're like, what about me? Some may argue, well, you've had everything,
your chance or whatever.
I don't think that's the right mindset.
Interesting.
And it's not, like I say, it's not a zero-sum game. Just because we do more for you doesn't mean I do less for you. It should be, I do more for you, yet therefore you benefit. Sure. And I'm not taking away from you to give to you.
Yeah.
But that is how I feel. I'm doing a TA and HR conference. I'm talking in a couple of weeks there, and I'm going to be talking about what went wrong with diversity and inclusion, and it's exactly this. We don't look at
It swung too much the other way.
We don't look about the systemic reasons why people are underrepresented throughout businesses.
Yeah.
We're not prepared to change the system and challenge the system. What we do is we just add a quota. Who gets promoted, who gets a pay rise, who gets employed. To hell with how everybody feels about that. We've just got to get there because that person there said, our board said that, our investor said that. And that is why I feel there's a pushback against it. And because it's unfair and it's against the law. And it's like, and when you work for a business and they bring in a new policy and they don't tell you why. And it's like, you're either on the bus or you're off the bus. Your choice. Oh, isn't it? It's so demoralising. It's really disempowering. And so if I was to sit down and have this conversation with you before, you would have gone, that's completely fair and legitimate. I completely understand it. But, and it's then thinking about how that changes the relationship between that hiring manager and his female peers.
Yeah.
It's just so unfair, and it goes against D&I, which is about equality and inclusion and fairness.
Yeah. Because they were seen as quite a progressive company, right? Because they had their CEO, COO, and CFO were all women. So it was like I've had that before when I said, "Tell me about your diversity and inclusion strategy." We've not got one. Our woman's a chief exec. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. I've worked for women chief execs, and believe me, they've been everything but inclusive and equitable.
Again, when you're dealing with people, the complexity of it is like mad, isn't it?
And there's always a systemic reason for everything. Whether it's as simple as unconscious bias or whether it's who had access to, those A levels or that qualification,
or the household you grew up
in. That's what I find fascinating. If somebody's like, oh, there's an issue here, when I work with an organisation, I just go in with interventions and solutions. I'll be like, oh, let's have a look at why that's happening.
Yeah,
and we go right back to the beginning. It's like this whole conversation around, the male dominance in leadership roles in the recruitment industry.
Yeah,
what do you think the number one issue is why we don't see women in senior roles? What happens in a woman's life?
Is it going to be maternity or having kids?
Maternity or having kids. I think that the family building part of the recruitment industry is completely broken. Some organisations,
the whole industry's churn and burn, right? So it's like,
and I have seen women at their top of their careers, the top billers in the business. I've seen that. I saw this for 17 years as a recruiter on desk, top of the game. Then they will have a child. Like 80% of females at work will have a kid. Right? It's part of keeping the workplace alive. And then I see them come back. They've just had a year or 6 months out of work. They are not the same human being. They've had a life-changing experience.
Yes, of course.
And yet their desk has usually been decimated by all the vultures.
Yeah.
Right,
taking all the
come in and taking the low-hanging fruit.
And they are then given the same targets. They're expected to work the same hours.
Yeah.
Not given any flexibility, and be responsible for the team. And I've seen this every single time. If you want to take a part-time role, you get a lower salary. You can't manage a team. You won't be promoted. And they'll either take like an internal role, or eventually they go off and go in-house.
Right.
And so it's not about making sure we hire more females. It's about what do we do on the journey of becoming a leader in the recruitment industry to make sure that women stay within the space. Systemic stuff.
Because the old, and obviously again, it's not for me to speak on, but the old agency I worked for abroad in Australia, they had, I worked with a girl called Abby, and she went off, and they were super good with her when she came out. She's still there today. And they let her work remotely, and she works, I don't know what the hours are now, but I just remember them being like phenomenal with her. And Abby was kind of around, and where she was a really good recruiter, they trusted her to get on with get on with her job. They were really flexible with her. She's now moved an hour or so away from the office, so she works remotely, comes in every so often. But like, I've seen it work, but I don't think she's ever then progressed up to be, I don't know if she's wanted to.
She might not want to.
I don't know if she's progressed up to be.
You change as a human being, whether parents change, don't they?
But she's like a principal recruiter, if you will, there. But
she stayed there. They retained her. She's still making money for them. It was commercially valuable to treat her in that way, as well as being. And so there is evidence everywhere that this works. So we have to look at the reasons why we're not doing it, and usually it is around culture change.
Sure,
it's about changing everything that we've always done, the way that like, for example, not having hybrid flexible working. So many people, that is the game changer for them. If they don't get that, I can't even imagine what it must be like to be a parent. I struggle with him. If I had to, before COVID, I would travel into the city every day. I'd be leaving the house at 7:00 and I'd be back at 8 or 9. And full time in the office. That business has subsequently changed how it works and its model, and it's worked really well for them. But then if I had kids and that model wouldn't flex, what would I do? I'd have to leave. I'd have no choice. And that's where I would, you see you women drop off.
I need to get I talk about it a lot, but my mum had that kind of experience. Dad left. I was 8, and my brother was 3 or 4, and she was running her own business, and then she just had to figure out a way to, like, how do I now look after 2 kids and bring all the money in to keep the lights on and stuff like that. I've always said about getting her on here because I think she'd be a good story, because she still runs that business today, and she just stuck with it. But like, I was speaking to Si's. Is he married, Si?
No.
I was speaking to Si's missus, and she was saying the same thing, because she works part time, and she was like, I don't know how anyone does it with, like, they've got 2 twins and stuff.
And you should be able to have it all. You should be able to continue with your career. And
with the way technology is today, you should.
It's funny, isn't it? We all managed it 5 years ago.
Should have only got easier,
The way that tech is
but
today.
like I say, it's changing mindset, it's changing behaviour, it's challenging what we've always done, and it's just being a little bit braver. It's not just going and hiring more women or whatever marginalised group. It's about fixing the reasons why they're not there in the first place. We've gone all serious, right? I thought we were going to but
we have.
I guess it's the T-shirts that did it.
But we just go with wherever. I think people come on here, and sometimes people say to us, I'm not like, I'm not going to be that lively or funny. And I'm like, we just have natural conversations with people. And always, if you try and force it, it's never funny. But you're going to Leeds, right?
Yeah.
Are you going home or you're working up there?
And
do you need to be off by a certain time? Because we've been chatting for an hour and 23 minutes.
Crikey. I'm heading up to Leeds now. I've got a few bits and pieces to do. I'm currently supporting my sister through a very tough divorce, and I have become...
Bless you.
I have become a divorce lawyer.
Okay, nice.
So where Rona's mum comes in.
Enabled by social media and ChatGPT.
Yeah, fine.
So we've got some bits to do, but
nice.
yeah.
Well, we've got this. Do you know what this is? Are you aware of this? Lee's lunchbox.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily see it. But this is about some kind of question thing.
Correct. Yeah. So you do have one, and the person that left your question as well is Kate.
Oh, okay.
So you have a question in this lunchbox for Kate.
Oh gosh.
And we have a Giig. I don't know if you've.
It's going to be deep, isn't it? If it's from Kate, you reckon? No. She's a tale of two halves, is Kate, isn't she? She's like.
I love Kate.
She's one of the most interesting humans. Mm-hmm. She's got such different sides to her, and this whole, she does. The spiritual side of it. She tells me about the moons and all of this. She's always got like an explanation of, well, of course you feel like that. The moon's here, and this is this, and this is that. And I'm like, never. She's got like
that
this
side of it. And then she's got the high rocks, gym, high octane, ripping it up.
She's got so many different areas to her personality. She's an amazing human. I love her to bits. She's one of my favourite people, actually.
That's really cute. So we have a jingle as well, which I will play. I don't know if you heard this.
Oh yes, I heard it. This guy in his sweat. This guy in his sweat.
Oh mate, I'm the same.
So what do I do? What am I doing?
So in there is a question that you can read out and
answer, and we can discuss.
Depending on.
It doesn't smell like a lunchbox.
It's never been used as a lunchbox.
Yeah,
that was a gift from Kate and Si.
Yeah.
Would you rather everyone you meet secretly think you smell, or
her face?
It depends what smell it is. If it's a good smell.
Yeah, true.
It doesn't say think you smell bad. Be forced to watch your most embarrassing moment once a year with an audience. Oh, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
So, what is it? Would you rather everyone you meet secretly know you smell, or watch your most embarrassing?
If I smell good, you've not specified, so I would be like, go for that. But be forced to watch your most embarrassing moment once a year. Do you know what? I would probably be like, let's go with the embarrassing moments, because I think they're embarrassing stuff is what makes people connect to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of the time in business, we put on this mask, don't we?
Yeah.
And I do embarrassing shit all the time, and it's my embarrassing stuff that is being really character building for me. And it's like,
what would be on your highlight reel?
It's a good icebreaker as well, right?
What do you think would be? I mean, and it also depends who you're watching it with as well, I think.
What's my most there's been literally like, there are so many embarrassing moments that I've had. I mean, an embarrassing moment. And you know what? My sister almost told the story at my wedding. And she was saying, well, not many of you know this. Joe had a night out one night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to tell everybody. And you know what? I'm sorry, but it's another P-related.
Right, okay.
P-related story.
So rate yourself.
To forget to hear it.
Trying to get into my flat.
No. How many times have you done it?
I mean, those are in my car.
In your car.
that I told on the podcast. But it was a night out, and I was this one of the reasons why I stopped drinking, right? Because of liability. And and I snuck up the stairs in the flat. I managed to, and in the morning, my husband found my underwear and tights, like, in the kitchen on the floor. And
so this was before you were married to him?
This was when we were living together, before we were married. And he's like, do you want, do you want
these back?
Why? He was like, why are they on the floor soaking wet? What on earth have you done? And I was just, we were dating. I didn't have a ring on it. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that was a good test.
And it was, and I was like, yeah. And when my sister was going to read that story out,
did you stop her?
It was just, I'm not joking. I was just like mortified because there was family and everything there. But thinking about that, it was an embarrassing moment, but it was just one of those. It's just life, isn't it? I mean, there's probably a lot. There's a lot more.
Most people have wet themselves at least.
Well, when I
once
heard the story, you say that we've got that in common because I wet myself in the car. Yeah, I did exactly the same thing. I was on the way to a client meeting as well.
Oh mate,
I was on the way to a client meeting.
I feel panicky for you.
Wasn't even my car as well, which I was borrowing the car. Yeah,
you've got no excuses, man. You can just pee in stuff.
He was stuck
I'm stuck in traffic, right? And I was with the mindset of like, my bladder will hold. I was like, I was 20.
And then you sneezed.
I was 20. What did you say?
Then you sneezed.
Then I sneezed. I was 27 at the time. And I was just like, yeah, my bladder, I didn't comprehend that it would just give up. And I was sat in traffic, waiting at these traffic lights. And I was like, oh my God, this is getting really close. And kind of, I think because I thought I was close, as I was pulling into their car park,
your brain just...
my bladder just started, and I started wetting myself. I was like, oh no. So I jumped out of the car and finished the second half outside of the car. But then I looked down and I was just covered in piss, basically.
Did you go on them?
I had to text them in the car park being like, I'm really sorry, there's been I have actually told them this story since. I was like, remember that first time I was coming to meet you? I wet myself. But I was in my brother's car because this was when I'd just come back and I didn't have a car yet. So I text my brother being like, mate, I've had an accident in your car. And he was like, oh my God, are you okay? And he thought I'd had a crash. Yeah, and then I sent him a picture, which I still have, of the seat covered in pit. And he was like, mate, you're a liability.
You're a liability. Was it after a heavy boozing session?
No. I just smashed a load of water because I'm like, I drink a lot of water. And I'm just like all keen about hydrating. And I was like, I'll smash a load of water, get in the car, stuck in traffic.
Do you know what? Life's full of embarrassing moments. And it's just, I don't know. The older I get, the less shits I give about
for sure.
stuff.
You just got to embrace it.
Yeah, and also because I'm, so open about now I preach a different story, don't I? I always, what's the word? Self-deprecate.
Yeah.
Right?
Put yourself down.
And I'm really open about like my life pre my Joe point two.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be somebody that'll be like, I've got stuff on you. I'm gonna come out and say stuff. So I'm like, you can't say anything that I'm not going to own up to, because I've made so many mistakes. Some quite harmful mistakes, some silly, embarrassing mistakes, and we all evolve as human beings. And what we did then is, you can change,
different people,
and you can 100%. You can evolve. And when I meet people and we talk about, like, I say, you've got to get yourself out there, you've got to do this, you've got to get out and have your own brand, make people aware of you. One of the biggest fear, especially from recruitment leaders, business leaders, is they've got too many skeletons in the closet.
Get them out there.
And they're terrified. They're like, well, we did a thing and I did a thing, and how can I now talk about this when I did that? And I'm like, is that the person that you are today? No. Right?
No.
And
for sure.
we all have to own that sometimes we've made massive errors of judgment, but we're just human beings having a human experience, and it's about what we do now and tomorrow and how people experience us now. And most people don't remember.
No, 100%. Like, most people don't. Like, you post something. We posted a few things that we had this conversation, didn't we, recently internally, because we've got some like advisors who are in their 60s, and when we had our kickoff this year, they were like, don't like the podcast, don't like the brand that you guys are pushing. But like, my attitude is like, just be ourselves. And I said there are a few things that are close to the line. There was a couple of videos that I think they've seen that I'm like, okay, maybe that was a bit close, but people have already forgotten. Like, no one would even
Nobody
remember.
Thinks about you as much as you think about yourself. No, right?
Absolutely not. Like, no one cares.
I've even gone to the extreme of messaging people and apologising for being a dickhead 15 years ago.
Have you? And they don't remember it.
And they're like,
what did you do?
Couldn't even remember.
Yeah.
Really?
Literally didn't remember.
That's really
And it's like, that is a thing that I was like, that's something.
Yeah. I
work with a coach to try and help me get over the, like, shame that I carried from. Yeah. It was regular behaviour at the time, but who I am now, it doesn't.
That's so interesting. There's a whole other podcast here.
Yeah, there is.
On Joe 1.0.
Did it help you though? get over whatever it was, like, and move on from that.
Definitely.
Because they say that.
Yeah.
If you ever had like issues with someone in the past, sometimes you just got to be like, or whether it's I forgive you or I apologise for that or something, and it helps you move on.
Definitely. I wanted to acknowledge it, because what I don't ever want people to do is listen to me and go, I can't even believe she talks about this stuff, because my experience of her as a boss or as a friend it was completely different.
Sure.
And so I want to be able to, like, if anybody ever says that thing that you treat me really badly, I've just listened to you bleating on about equality and neurodiversity at work, and you treat me terribly when I was autistic, and it stayed with me.
Wow.
And and that could all,
that's fascinating,
right? But I'm going to be like, that would not surprise me, because I think back and I remember where I didn't understand people, or I used to make my female recruiters, I used to berate them for what they wore.
Really?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Like, heels. I don't want you wearing those flat shoes. Show up, get your hair done, put your makeup on, wear your heels in front of clients, polished up. Those tights have got bubbles on.
Basically.
Yeah.
Is that the right
because
terminology? Because that sells.
If you'd have seen me when I was a recruiter, I was 6-inch heels, bodycon dress. I mean, The Apprentice. That was my my armour.
I can see you doing it well.
Yeah, and I used to expect other people to and you like that. And I thought that was professionalism. That's what would get you people to take you seriously. But that was just me, but
probably was at the time though.
I once offered somebody a job on the provision that they went to Zara or H&M and bought some new clothes.
Wow.
Because I said, the fact that your pants are sewed up with, purple stitching, that is going to bug me and it'll irritate me, and I can't have you in front of clients looking like this.
Wow.
So funny, isn't it?
I was so
different.
brainwashed into connecting how somebody presented with professionalism and not getting to know them and understanding that actually that person might not have had a pot to piss in. And me putting those what I could have done to that person's self-esteem made them so paranoid about something they were already a bit ashamed of, because they they knew that they couldn't afford stuff because all their money was going to their kids or whatnot. But I have to own that, because now that and yes, back to I'm still not massively over all of that stuff. And I'm not saying I was an awful person. I just did some shit things.
We've all done
right? We've all done it.
It's a part of the learning experience, right?
But if I can't carry all that shame, because that is not who I am anymore. All I can do is own it and apologise and make sure that my life is completely dedicated to serving other people and making sure that other people try to avoid the crap that I did. I am like my biggest case study whenever I'm training. And I think that's why I do quite well, because I'm like, right, can we just stop? Can I tell you about a story when I did this? And they're like,
and that's real, right? You'll get that reaction in the room,
and
right?
they're like, you did that? And then somebody goes, yeah, I've done that. And then we'll have it, but because they can see that you're not preaching and you're not perfect and you've made loads of mistakes and you're actually just talking about like stories that they've experienced or they've heard, they trust you.
Did any of the people get back to you that you reached out to?
Yeah.
Did some of them?
A couple of people have done it. I've had conversations with people, and I've been there waking up at 3:00 in the morning, being upset that I'd done this thing, 10 years ago, and they've gone, do you know what? We were all a little bit fucked up then, weren't we?
Yeah.
We all did some weird stuff. They'll go, I tell you what, out of everybody I've managed, you were probably the least much, you were the lesser knobhead. Right, yeah. And you're like, oh God, I've been worried about that.
Lesser knobhead.
I'll take that, and you just realise that actually it's not just you, but we're narcissists, aren't we? We're in our own world. We think everything revolves around us. Everybody remembers us. Everybody reads everything that we say. It's like, you put something out on LinkedIn and it don't go down very well. And 5 years ago I'd be like stressing out all weekend that I'd upset somebody. Now I'm like, nobody will notice it tomorrow.
Correct.
No one will care.
Life moves on. You forget. You forget really, really quickly, don't you?
Well, I'm not going to forget this experience.
Oh, you're happy with it. And you'll have to. How do we get the jumper to you? You okay for me to post it to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just
and I
don't know if it's weird to ask you for your address, but like,
I'm
stick it in the post.
I mean, I'm not going to say it out loud now.
Yeah,
mind you.
Can we get a photo in it as well? Can you show, please? If you wear it out on a dog walk, please?
That is good. Yeah, you are getting the picture. Do you want the picture first before I put it on social?
No. Do what you want. Like, we're not precious with that. We I don't know if you saw. We had Barry on, and we bought him a doormat, which did you see the doormat that you put on LinkedIn yesterday?
I commented
and he
on
said
it.
to me yesterday, like, I'm so sorry I put that online before the pod. I was like, that's absolutely fine.
I was like, I'm offended. with
oh no, we should have fessed up to it.
with a jokey face, because it's just backdoor Barry, isn't it? That's a great brand.
But the sizing, if it doesn't fit, they guarantee you, like, your first order, get the right size so we can send it back, because we got him a large. And he's only quite a small dog. Yeah. But the extra smalls, I think, for like teacup.
Yeah.
So, but thank you so much, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I know I might have not been an obvious choice as a guest, but
I've loved it.
I've really enjoyed it.
I find it really fascinating to listen to.
I think that it's you have the best conversations and you don't.
It's been really good fun.
And if you ever want to do another one, you're always welcome.
You're creating a really interesting, series that dares to be different.
Oh, thank you.
And I love it. I like all the little like personal touches, and it feels like you give a shit, and it's not just about coming in and having a chat and then it gets buried into a million other conversations that you have. So it's great.
I'm going to clip that and send it to our advisors. There you go.
There's your salad.
But no, thank you. It's really kind of you to notice, because
you put a lot of effort. It's important to you, isn't it?
Yeah, we care. And we care about understanding who's coming on, and like, we will accept everyone as well. We're not precious. Like, have had conversations with people. This isn't particular about you, but I've mentioned guests to people when they've been like, oh, I wouldn't get them on, or
you know that somebody probably said that to you.
No, we've not had that. We've not had that at all. But for us, it is just about being inclusive, getting people on and getting to understand who they really are. Yeah.
And it's not about the same boring stuff that feels inaccessible because it happened to this elite group of people 20 years ago.
Oh, that stuff.
That's not my thing.
No, sure.
This is just relaxed. It's a chat, and it just is an organic conversation that's also really funny.
Nice. And you get a little bag out of it. But thank you so much, mate, and thank you for the t-shirts as well.
Yes,
really appreciate it.
Thanks for putting them on. I love that. I really appreciate it.
I have no issue putting it.
I just didn't know whether or not it'd be,
Oh, we're very chill.
Yeah. We like to think we are anyway.
Yeah. They look all right.
And it's also funny that you think people would worry about putting it on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, I pass out those business cards sometimes in corporate spaces, and they go, okay, and you're like.
Really?
Yeah. It's really funny, and I've had. It depends, the corporate Collins and corporate Cathys are a bit like.
Of course, yeah.
But I
Collins.
I do it so I can create I'm not just handing somebody a business card. I'm giving them like a. What do you think about that then?
Emotion.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah,
that's interesting. Let's have a chat. It's a good conversation starter.
We'll keep it up, mate. Yeah. It's going well for you, and safe journey today.
Nice one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.
No, that was great. Thank you.
Do you
You're boss at recruitment and you're going alone. You've got your LinkedIn account and your mobile phone. You've got the candidates playing hard to get. Will they'll call you next week or a no, not yet. So much time of going to and fro. You got another offer, or salary's too low. Hours or searching and hours of stress. Come on, candidates, just gig it a rest. Come on, candidates, just gig it a rest.